The Metta Prayer. It's a great way to handle difficult relationships. It's about praying for people who have hurt you. It's also about praying for people who are struggling or loved ones. But what you do is focus on them, and you think from your heart you're going to send out love and compassion towards them. It's also called the loving kindness prayer. It's great therapy. It doesn't mean you have to go hug the person, but it's a super simple therapeutic way to let go of negative energy when you, in your quiet moments, practice loving people that have hurt you. It's hard to do. It's incredibly therapeutic, though. And everybody I know that's tried it says the same thing. Wow, that works. It's really effective. I've watched in my own life, people respond to you differently after you've done this kind of prayer towards them. They don't know why. They just feel energetically different. It's a great concept, works wonderfully well. Pray for people in the privacy of your own bedroom. Pray for them from your heart. All things work together for good for those who love God. Okay? All things. What does that include? Everything. There's nothing that's not included. Now, for those who love God, most religions say they love God. Well, all things working together would include all religions, right? So for those who love God, the idea of somehow trying to weave together Christianity and Buddhism and Islam and atheism and Hinduism and all the different philosophies must work together for those who love God. It's your job, if you love God, to see how that works together. Traffic jams are teaching you how to be more patient. People who have hurt you are teaching you how to be forgiving. That works together. All the world philosophies come together to teach you things like, say, tolerance and acceptance and understanding. And if you love God, that's how you're going to look at it. If you don't love God, you're going to be resisting and arguing and fighting and all that stuff, which of course none of the prophets taught. We are all on the same journey. Those who blame others have not started. Those who blame themselves are halfway home. Those who blame no one have arrived. Okay? Everybody's on the same journey. All these rules apply to everybody. If you're blaming others, that's because you're not in the process of awakening. You can trust that everything's happening to you for a reason, and the reason is ultimately a spiritual reason. It's trying to help you wake up. Everybody goes through suffering one way or another. And if you learn what you need to learn, you're going to stop blaming others. In fact, you're going to say, there must be a lesson in this for me. But when you make that lesson about yourself and you beat yourself up, what's wrong with me? I did something wrong, and you have shame and guilt. You're not done either. You have to forgive yourself ultimately and learn how to let it all go. When you blame no one, you have arrived. It's the whole journey of recognizing that this world is set up in a way to teach us all spiritual growth. There is no compulsion in religion as truth stands out clear from error. I love this one because we're not supposed to force our opinions in our religion on other people. Why? Truth stands out clear from error. It's obvious after a while what truths work and what don't. Very simply, it's obvious that resentment doesn't work. And it's obvious that forgiveness does. Well, what are we waiting for? People won't work on forgiveness mostly because they think they're letting the other person off the hook. That's not the case. Forgiveness is to free yourself. It might even teach the other person a lesson. But we often don't get around to practicing truth for a bunch of ego-based reasons. And plus, we're addicted to the ego, and so we don't ever get to the standing out clear from error part. But once you practice something like patience, you're like, oh man, that feels way better than impatience. When you practice something like the Metta Prayer, you're like, I'm going to do that every day. I'm going to wake up doing that. When you practice walking around recognizing that everybody in the world is working on this and we're teammates, and you see each other as teammates, once you do that, you're like, oh, this makes so much more sense than the way I was doing it. Truth stands out clear from error. It's obvious after a while. Once you get to that point, you're like, what took me so long? 2, the spirit gives life, the flesh counts for nothing. Again, this pretty much obliterates all physical focus in religions. Those who are focused on behaviors are missing the point. We're supposed to be focused on the spirit. All you do is say yes or no. Spirit is what gives life. The spirit's in this room right now. The spirit's throughout the world. Everybody has access to it all the time. You don't tap into it, you don't experience it. You do tap into it, you've got life. And you're going to give yourself more and more energy the more and more you tap into it. You focus on the flesh, well, that counts for nothing. You'll get nowhere with that. You'll spend a lot of time getting addicted to it, and then you're going to have to walk it back. You're going to end up having to say, man, I shouldn't have spent all that time focusing on the flesh. It's the Spirit that gives life after all. So moment to moment, you have a choice. You're going to look at the world in a spiritual way or in a flesh-based way. Number one, strive for your own liberation with diligence. Okay? Strive means effort. You have to put some effort into this. For your own liberation. Don't worry about the guy next to you. Right? This isn't about mom or dad or brother or sister or husband or wife or kid or whatever. Or that guy in the other part of the world that you might be judging. Strive for your own liberation. Liberation is freedom from the ego. You're not a physical being. You're a spiritual being. It takes some work to give that up. That's liberation. How? With diligence. That means focus. Daily basis. It's a good idea to do that. All of us have spent many years focusing on ego stuff, and it's hurt us as a result. But when you strive for liberation with diligence, next thing you know, you break through. You'll have an experience because you've practiced it a lot. Like learning a language, practice the language, get better at it. Practice liberation, you get better at it. And last, the Grand Prix, the extra, the bonus. Forgive them, they know not what they do. Okay? It's the greatest liberator of all. The whole point that actually puts all this up in the right order, at least it falls into place for you, is when you learn how to forgive others and make it about yourself. Okay, see, when you forgive someone else, you just made it about yourself because you've released yourself from their energy or the energy that's bringing you down. Forgiveness is often best thought of as forgiving. If somebody's hurt me and I give them spirit, I just gave them spirit, I am now freed. They might not be. They might benefit. But I think the money part of this line, forgive them, they know not what they do, is the know not what they do part. It's people do what they do because they're ignorant. Ignorant just means they don't understand. Throw these sayings out to most people throughout the world and they might argue with you. Try them out for yourself, you'll see that they work, right? Well, most people, or many people, and us, I've certainly done it, have walked around ignorant. Judging others, feeling fear, shame, guilt, stuff like that. And that never got me anywhere. But when I learn how to detach, and I release, and I let go, and I separate, and all of that, and I'm able to say, I have to be responsible for myself. You'll see how that line weaves into most of the rest of them, your own liberation. I am now freed because of forgiveness. And it's forgiving, not because I'm superior, it's because the other person literally is ignorant. They did not know what they were doing. So there's our job, to practice these things, see whether or not they work for you. When they work for you, you know that they're true. They're very therapeutic. There's hundreds of others, of course. I'll probably refine this over time. In the future, I'm going to do a deeper version of different teachings that go much deeper. But these are all simple, basic things to understand. Practice it in your life. You'll see that they work. That's how you know that they're true.